Today is a beautiful day for science. Currently, we're looking at the last activity on solar Earth-facing portion of the Sun from the 13th to the 15th of December. What makes this fantastic is we get to view the actual development of all of these M classes that we've been getting. Region 3165 has been not only very exuberant, but very beautiful to watch. So let's see, let's show it here. There we go. So here we can actually see the synodic map, which shows us 3165 right here, identified by NOAA. So as we look at this imagery here, this is the high resolution imagery from SDO in 4 to 8K format that's presented, showing us all the activity as it not only does its M classes, but actually what led to it. And that's actually what I wanted to point out, what I found was very beautiful in all this. Looking at the activity, what makes this so beautiful is how it began. At least that's how I view it. So here we go. All right. Yep. And take you to here. Just messing with the settings a little bit to make sure it's going the proper speed. And here we are. So here, the region 3165 is right here. You can see it's actually rather small, kind of docile. But then you start to see that it quickly starts expanding. And the negative region within inside of it starts pushing, and it's almost like it's being repelled from the positive area. And as that happens, the surface completely shifts and changes. Every part of it just completely just reorganizes, sort of a forced change. And as that happens, the loops don't have time to sort of stretch and twist themselves into a way to maneuver away from reacting to this. Instead, what happens is we get a lot of collisions, a lot of accidental high fives, and we get a lot of these flares. And it's quite beautiful. So you see, sort of docile, sort of calm on the 13th, leading to the end of the 13th, we start to see that push begin. And that's when we see the activity start beginning and ramping up, because it never stops. This repelling of that negative region within inside of that doesn't calm down. It continues and pushes more and more and more. And more than just saying, I think it's best if I show. So let's go to the HMIBC so we can actually see as this develops how it looks. And here it is. So we're watching here and we see the positive region becomes more powerful and the negative region sort of just repels. It just repels it and pushes it out and out and out. And you can see as it starts pushing further and further and further, it's elongated because how quickly it's going. So it doesn't have that circular umbra that we normally see. And there it is. Quite beautiful. And due to this, and the nature of how it's going to continue to be very robust in activity until it has, or probably until it's beyond occulted and we can't see it anymore at this point. I don't see a relatively soon point of equalizing that energy to where it can actually maintain its loops and its spacing. The loops are still combating for their space, yet building just as rapidly as they fight for a single space. So you end up having, just as soon as he's like, okay, I've cleared all the others, I've won the flare fight, my loop is the strongest, combination thereof, because it still is a configuration. But then more loops have just grown and pushed into the area, forcing it to have to combat once again, repelling one another with their electromagnetic energy. And there you have it. Quite a beautiful display. And this has been the source of all those M classes, all except for maybe one. We had one M class off of a region that was rotating out of view and became occulted. But just before it said farewell, it gave us a farewell M class, which was quite quite on par for this year, or this cycle for the sun. It loves to do that for us. But there we go. Looking at 171, you can see a little more clearly that loop activity. And as I said, that as a loop, a more powerful loop has been formed through that reconfiguration, finally has a dominance over that area, suddenly more loops have grown so quickly and pushed upward that it has to contest once again for that spacing. And they repel one another, but there's just nowhere to go. So what happens is that collision begins once again, and we get those flares once again. Beautiful display. Excellent imagery from SDO. Well, that's the update, as it were. And I hope everyone has a wonderful day and a Merry Christmas. Cheers and science on.